I'm back today with one of my favorite things, another kit. I put this kit together from scrapbook.com, so if you're interested in any of these products, they should be available over there, and I will try and get as many of these products linked to their website in the show notes as I can. I did want to mention here that when I filmed this, I actually made an error in my filming, and there's a package of that middle frames and tags elements that I bought to go with a small set of papers from scrapbook.com, so that element doesn't belong in here. But here are the embellishments that I got for the kit. This is a package of Alta New button and epoxy, wood and epoxy buttons, and that has been one of my favorite elements that have come out in the last few years, and I noticed that they're dwindling now, but I still like them, and so I buy them whenever I can. I did pick up this Pink Fresh Studio multicolored alpha set because I like to mix and match uppercase larger alphas with the lowercase alphas. This gold letter stickers I have in another video showing you a review of those. I wanted to pick up plenty of alphas this time because my last couple of kits hadn't had enough alphas or any alphas with them. So I know I've got some crazy things going on here with the holographic alphas and the gold alphas and the small multicolored alphas, but you'll see with the papers that I picked, it will mix and match. Now I just set aside, there's 2 more packages of embellishments there, and I will get to those and go over those with you later. So when I was putting this kit together, I started with a couple of pieces of paper that grabbed my attention, and then I threw in other elements that kind of gave more of a variety to this kit. So not every piece of this kit goes with each other, but every piece in this kit goes with something else in the kit. And that's what I was going for here. So this piece of paper was one of the pieces of paper that caught my attention. This is a One Canoe 2 pattern paper. And these stripes here just made me happy. I enjoyed the colors. I like using bold colors in small quantities, so I can imagine cutting this apart and using small strips of stripes on my page. And then looking at those colors, I wanted to pick out some other elements that had colors that went with it. And of course, here's another One Canoe 2 paper from that same collection. So all the colors are definitely there and definitely the same. I like hexagons, and they're pretty popular right now, so it's easy to find hexagons. And the back of this paper is some ice cream cones. I'm probably never going to touch those, so I will use the front of that paper with the hexagons. The back of that stripe paper was some kind of navy triangles, and I know that's a possibility for me to use. So I will, and there's those triangles again, I will possibly use both sides of this. And now this navy element in these 2 papers are an element that I picked up on when I continued building this kit. And so I looked for other papers with navy in it. And this is pink paisley paper. And this backside is just kind of a neutral tan. And this is paper 6 from the Indigo and Ivy, I believe it's called, collection. But I really liked this navy, another stripe. It's, again, like the other paper, it's a stripe, but it's not a formal stripe. That kind of waviness to it gives it more of a relaxed feel. And here is a Pink Fresh Studio paper, and this collection I think was popular a little while ago. I don't think this is a super current collection, but here we've got the navy again, and it picks up on some other colors. We've got a gradient with some navy quality and then also some kind of coral qualities to it. And this paper from the same collection, Pink Fresh Studio, picks up on the navies, and it has a little bit of the coral in there, and it also picks up on another color that I was hoping to build into this kit, and that is the lavender family. And when you go back to the hexagons, you'll notice that these hexagons have a lot of the same colors in them, even though they're from 2 separate companies. So I was picking up these elements so that I could use these papers together in different ways. And the back side of this one is just a very neutral kind of gray color. And now I've got a kid who loves purple, and I've been going maybe a little bit too crazy with the purple and lavender color tones, but there were a lot of really pretty purples on the website. So I did pick up a few different purples that I might be able to mix and match. And again, I'm talking about the coral tones, and this paper in the background there was a sunset photo, so it was interesting that it picked up the purple tones as well as the coral tones. And this paper here has some of those coral tones in it too, so we've got some options here for mixing and matching the papers. So I just want to give you a look at each one of these papers, so if they interest you, you know who the manufacturer is, so you can pick them up if you want. Again, here I'm just talking about how these gradation and the coral and the navy and purple tones kind of all work together. So this paper here is by Ella and Vive, and it's a watercolor paradise paper, and the front side is kind of a cloud watercolory print, and the back side is actually there isn't a print, and I think that's pretty common with the Ella and Vive papers. And this one is a Kaisercraft paper, and it looks more like a stone. It's the Misty Mountain collection, and it looks kind of like a stone element to it. And then here's another Kaisercraft in the Misty Mountain collection, and because the mountains are there, that's kind of clear. The backside is a floral. That's not my style, so I probably won't use the backside of that one. And here I wanted to pull together some cut-apart elements that have similar motifs and colors to them. So I've got some coral going on in there and some cloud elements. So we've got a little bit of motif and color crossover. So this is a crepe paper. And the back side of that one is just a general stripe, which I can always use, a ledger print. And here's another crepe paper all heart collection from that same line. I picked this one out because I always like star motifs. I think they're very usable, and they go well with many things. It also had picked up some pink tones from the other papers, so I figured that crossover would work out pretty well. And we're back to more navy here, and this is another I believe it's pink paisley paper number 9, and I'll correct myself in the show notes if I'm wrong. But definitely I really like what's happening with the navies in the industry right now. Moving on to this next element, it's a Simple Stories paper, and it's in the navy color family. And I picked this one out because it's got that gold foil quality to it, and that's why I picked a gold set of alpha stickers, because if I use that gold element in the paper, then I have some gold element alpha stickers to go with whatever I use. And then also in the Simple Stories collection is a sheet of kind of confetti paper with the gold foil element to it. And I always like to pick up some specialty papers to use as part of my layout process so that I have some of that textural quality to work with. Now I won't use that gold foil paper necessarily right alongside with this holographic foil paper, but this paper has some of the colors that picks up with the rest of the papers in this collection, and it has yet a different textural element to it. And because I picked up the foiled papers, I wanted to get a foiled alphabet to go with that quality of this kit. So it seems like they're kind of different kits, but they're all working together in terms of color palettes. And this is a crepe paper all heart collection, and it's got all of those color tones in there, the navies and the corals, and then it picks up on the holographic instead of the gold quality. So let's move on to the ephemera packs that I picked up, or rather all of the embellishments. I'll give you a closer look. So here's the Altenew gold rimmed epoxy buttons, and like I said before, these button elements are one of my favorite things to use. I love the wood tones of both wood veneer and these wood buttons, and so I always go to those whenever I find them. And we've got some navies and corally pinks in this pack, so I figured those would work. We've also got some stripes and some softer elements that I think would mix and match well with the other papers. Now here is, I believe this is a pink paisley collection of ephemera packs, and I picked this pack out because it had some very simple all-purpose phrases that went with the text elements, and then the colors and tones of the paper I thought could mix and match well. And this one also has some of the gold elements that I was picking up on in the rest of this kit. Plus there are purple tones in here as well. And I'm just going to go through each piece here so that you can get a sense that if you're interested in this pack, you can kind of see all the pieces that come in here. Now this ephemera pack is a Project Life brand product, and it is a little 2-pack of embellishments, and I'll open it up and show you everything that's in here. So these are acetate pieces, and the other pack is actually cardstock pieces. And you'll notice that the style of this ephemera pack is very different than the last pack I had. This one is much more graphic and bold, and the last pack is much softer and has more flow to the elements. And these might seem in contrast to each other, but I chose this pack because I like some pops of black against some brighter colors. I think it brings some contrast that makes pages interesting. So while these 2 pieces of ephemera don't seem to fit together, I think they will work well in the end. So I will be back in the future with some videos showing you all the layouts I come up with using this kit, and you can decide if you think I've made some good choices with mixing and matching these bold elements with soft elements, as well as the hollow foil elements with the gold foil elements, and see for yourself what you think. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and get notifications for my future videos.